Hello again, I am Blunty, and little did I know when I covered some, breaking news from Valve in the last video, literally as I was editing that video, they were releasing some more exciting news that I want to make another video about, so here we are. Steam now has game recording built right into their very own client, and it's a pretty clever implementation, actually. I mean, it's a bit janky. I've got to be honest with you, it's janky, and it has some pretty severe limitations that make me cranky, but it is only in the beta branch of Steam so far, and it will undoubtedly get better as users submit feedback, as I must remember to do, because I have feedback to give you, Valve. But as it stands now, in its beta launch state, it's actually pretty cool. At least if you're just a regular gamer, because this in no way is a suitable substitute for other tools an actual content creator who needs gameplay recordings for polished content will be needing. That said, by nature of how it works, it can still serve as a handy supplemental tool for content creators to help snatch up some fun content they might not have been planning for, or just to quickly splurt out some simple clips for social media for the giggles. So, let's take a closer look at it and give it some testing and show you some comparisons versus some other recording methods that I use. So, basic features. It can record or save replays, but not both at the same time. It has a very basic video editor for selecting clips to save out as their own files or share directly. And when I say share directly, I mean to Steam, not to other social media sites. It does not have a button that says send this to Twitter or X or TikTok or friggin' Facebook if you're a boomer. And if something cool happens while you're playing, but you can't break gameplay to make a clip of it immediately, you can just tap a hotkey and that will drop a marker in the recording timeline that you can jump immediately back to in the editor. Go, oh, this is where that cool thing happened. Now I can find that. Now I can edit out the clip really quickly and easily. That key, which by default is Control and F12, is easy to remember, by the way, as Steam's default key for screenshots is F12, as I'm guessing most of you will know. If you don't, I just taught you something new. Give me a thumbs up! But yeah, quick hammer on Control F12 and it'll plop down a marker in that video timeline for you. There's even an API so developers can actually build in automatic marking into their games for this feature using custom icons and everything by the looks of things, like for throwing down a marker every time you get a kill in a multiplayer game, or you trigger an achievement or whatever. It'll put down a little marker so you can go back and sort of check that out if it was a cool thing. One of the more interesting things, though, is it works on Steam Deck, which is great news because unlike Windows-based machines where both NVIDIA and AMD, and even Intel, I think, who's running Intel GPUs? Nobody? Nobody? Okay. NVIDIA and AMD both have all kinds of recording and replay functionality built right into their drivers by default. On Linux, not so much. And this also works for any game, not just Steam games. All you need to do is add your non-Steam games to your Steam library using the normal procedure for doing so. In Steam, you'll find it under its own new tab on your Steam's settings window, and by default, it's set up as off. So if you want to use this, you're going to have to go deliberately turn it on. From here, you can either select an always rolling background loop where it just sort of records the last X number of minutes. By default, it's 120 minutes, which is quite a long time, really, of your active gameplay session. It resets anytime you shut the game down and start a new game. It doesn't save any of these unless you deliberately save them out. So it's just sort of a floating recording sitting there while you're in your active game session. Don't forget about that, because if you close your game and went, oh, I needed to record that thing, it's gone. In its default settings, that 120 minutes recording will soak up about 11 gigs of space, but you do not want to use these defaults because they suck. They suck so hard, and I'll show you shortly what it looks like because you're not going to be happy with it. And whoever made this decision at Steam to make these the defaults, I need to slap you in the face and just have a stern talking to you, frankly. You can, as you might hope, change where the videos are saved. In my case, I built my gaming rig with a honkin' 2TB of extremely fast M.2 SSD I have reserved exclusively for video recordings because that's who I am. And rather usefully, it can also just record your game audio only no matter what else is going on in your system. So it doesn't record system audio, it doesn't record anything else you might be playing, no music, YouTube videos, video calls, whatever. It just records the game sound itself. You can also record your microphone if you like as well. You can even set up a hotkey for push to talk on that. Now, to access all of this in-game, you simply bring up your Steam overlay, and there it is, right up the top there. First time through, it'll step you through the basics, but in short, you've got a timeline across the top there. You can scrub through that and find the part you're looking for. You can select a start and stop point to save out a clip from. Yeah, like I said in the opening, I got to tell you, it's very janky and awkward as an editor interface. For those of us who use actual video editors, it's kind of awful. I'm not sure how a newbie would feel about this, having no preconceptions about how things should work in a video editor. But to me, it was pretty frustrating trying to use this thing. Sadly, it has no shortcut keys for marking in and out points like every other video editor, so it needs those. Steam. INO is kind of the industry default for in and outs, by the way, just letting you know. But yeah, it's all kind of clumsy and slow and awkward, at least if you have muscle memory for real video editing. But it works well enough, and it's simple enough that most people are just going to kind of figure it out fairly intuitively. It actually works quite a lot like the video editing on an iPhone, really. You just sort of drag and drop your in and out points and then press a button to save it out. But yeah, the interface is a bit more clumsy than Apple have managed. So, about those default settings. Don't use them because it looks like arse. You can see for yourself. On the left-hand side here is the recording from Steam's default settings. On the right hand is the standard recording settings I use when I'm deliberately recording some gameplay. It's not good. it's mush. Basically unusable, disgusting mush. Now, unfortunately, for some baffling reason, I hope they change, and they should change it, you can't select anything more than 24 megabits a second for your bitrate. The default is 12. The best you can do is double it, and you have zero control over the resolution of the video being recorded or the encoding format. So even if you are gaming in crispy 4K, beautiful, lovely 4K, as I tend to do, all you'll get out of this recording system is a 1080p recording. But at least it is 60 FPS, so that's something, I guess. And I suppose if they've built this primarily as a way just to share little clips around for people, not as a sort of production tool, then 1080p is fine. I would have preferred some control over that though, please. Thank you. But yeah, when you do, and let's be kind and call it maxing out the quality at 24 megabits per second and H.264 or at 1080p 60, well, it's not too bad, actually. That's about the right bitrate for that. Perfectly acceptable for YouTube, and certainly good enough for, more garbage quality sites full of low-effort trash content that nobody looks at for more than 7 seconds anyway, so who cares what the quality looks like TikTok, for example. But if you are on Windows, both NVIDIA and AMD let you have far more control over your recordings, ripping up that bitrate to ridiculous levels, recording at any resolution you like, and you have control over your frame rate of your recordings, and you can choose to use actual modern codecs like HEVC, not the crusty old and far less efficient and far less clean at lower bitrates H.264 that Steam sticks you with for some baffling reason. There are so many weird choices in how this is designed. It's very frustrating. And of course, with AMD and NVIDIA, you can do looping replay recordings with them and save out, the last X number of minutes at the tap of a hotkey. And in AMD's case, you can even save out a ready-to-post GIF too, if you like. Not just a video clip, which is neat. I haven't used that often, but I have used it from time to time. It's fun. Not super high quality because it is just a GIF, but still. Now, when I'm actually deliberately recording gameplay, I'll usually be doing it on my editing PC while my gaming rig runs the games, completely separating these two operations. So for that, I use a capture card, and its software is similarly way more flexible. Any resolution, any frame rate, any bit rate, loop replay recordings, all of that stuff it can do easily and simply. And all in much higher quality record while using modern codecs. All very good things for, actually editing and producing content. Now, all of that said, the convenience of having a recording built into Steam is really nice, but what sells it is being able to save out specific clips with adjustable start and stop edits pulled from longer replay recordings, all without leaving Steam. See, the save the instant replay thing for NVIDIA and AMD, you've got to hit the key and it just saves out literally the last, 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever you've got it set to. But with this, you can pull up an entire timeline and select exactly which few minutes you want to save out. That is a lot more flexible. That is really handy, and that is something none of the other recording options I use can actually do. I mean, I can take longer recordings and pull them into my editing suite, my DaVinci Resolve, system and edit it out manually, but, that's a much longer and more labor-intensive process if I just want to spit out a quick clip, But with this, when something cool happens, I can just, tap a hotkey to throw down a marker. And when sort of that round or the hunt or, that session of gameplay is where I'm sitting somewhere safe where I can AFK, I can just pull up the Steam overlay, jump to my marker, pull out a clip, save it out, post it up, and all without even leaving the game. So yeah, I'll be leaving this option turned on my Steam, but I will not be replacing anything that I already use for deliberate recordings. This is just going to be that just in case something cool happens option. And for a normie, for the non-career content creator types, yeah, this should be pretty damn fun and handy for sharing clips around to socials or, your mates or your fave Discord peeps or whatever. Yeah, nice work, Steam. Good, decent work. Well, it's okay work, Valve. But don't stop working. You're not done yet. This can be so much better than it is, because I can tell whoever built this feature does not edit videos, has never edited videos, hasn't met anyone who edits videos. They've maybe seen a screenshot of a video editor once, but yeah, whoever is responsible for this, whatever team leader is responsible for this particular feature, they need to listen to people who do edit videos, because we've got some pretty simple things to tell you that can make this a lot better, a lot easier, and a lot faster, and a lot less frustrating, and making those of us who do know a thing or two about video editing go, why did you do that? Why is it? Why? If you can stop us making that noise, you'll be golden. It's going to be great. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. We'll catch you next time. Thank you as always to the patrons scrolling up above there. Catch you next time.